Alright, what's up ladies and gentlemen, it's BG Wizard back for another video. Today we're taking a look at Rated Battlegrounds Cataclysm Classic. Since the last videos I've been playing, I'm about rank 30 on the ladder, probably the number 1 or number 2 Shadow Priest in the world, or at least North America on the ladder. So, our last videos we got the recommendation from a Cata private server player about 3k experience, our good friend. Now, we have the experience ourselves, so now I feel comfortable. We can rank every single class for Kata RBGs. So let's get into it. As you guys know, we're going to do bottom to top, so the worst to the best, and it also goes left to right. So it's obviously we're going to start at F, D, C, B, A, S, and then it's also left to right. So if it's the leftmost class, it's the best in that tier, and the rightmost class in that tier will be the worst in that tier. Okay, so let's get into it. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment below. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. All right, let's get into it. So we're going to start with Prot Pally. Haven't seen any dog shit. Wouldn't recommend. Next, I have the Prot Warrior. I think we've played this maybe once, maybe twice. I think once, and I think we won the game. Now, that being said, do not recommend it. I think there's better options. As the tier list goes on, you guys will see. So be sure to stay tuned. Don't recommend Prot Warrior, but if you're in a pinch, I guess you could run it and make it work. Okay, next, B tier. Okay, so B tier is basically playable, but there's better specs. Okay, so it's basically like the oddball specs for a bunch of classes. So we're going to have a ton of B tier classes. I'm just going to put them all on the board here. Okay. So, and also, this is if I scroll down, you'll see this is actually the only tier list I could get is a Dragonflight tier list. Like you'll see Evoker and stuff on here. So, I got to make it work. I know this is obviously Outlaw. So, obviously there's no Outlaw, but you guys get the point. All right. Putting a bunch on the board here for B tier. And again, remember it's left to right. So, we got a bunch coming in here. And that's going to round out our B tier. So, I think Disc is definitely viable. It's playable. However, I think there is a better Priest healing spec. So, Disc is going to be the top of B tier. Next, Blood DK brings high value, Chains of Ice, Death Grip, all that good stuff. It can also FC if you're in a pinch. I don't think it's meta, but it is doable. So, especially I've seen some double DK teams that really do well. So, Blood DK is going to come in at the number 2 spot on B tier. Then we have Enhanced Shaman, great for melee cleaves. Definitely Enhanced Shaman is viable. And next we have Beast Mastery Hunter. Don't see many of these, haven't seen many. I'd imagine they can base it pretty well. But again, I think there's a better Hunter spec. Fury Warrior, I don't think I've seen many of these either. Ellie Shaman, I don't think I've seen many. Ret, haven't seen many. Destro, haven't seen many. Survival, I've seen one. Wrestle Druid, I've seen a couple. Not recommended. And of course, then we get into the other specs. Mage, Arcane, Demo, Warlock. So again, you'll notice all of these classes have other specs, and that's why they're here, because I think their other specs are definitely better, and for that reason, they're going to be B tier. Playable, but not highly recommended. I think if you play the other specs on this tier list, you're going to do a lot better. So for example, you have Arcane Mage. Well, you could play Frost, you could play Fire. So you don't see any of those on the list. So obviously those are going to rank higher. So that's why those specs are going to be ranked maybe S, maybe A. Same with Warlock. You still have Affliction on the board. There's Destro here as well, but you still have Affliction on the board. So if you're playing that spec, maybe it's better. Maybe it's an S tier. Maybe it's an A tier. So again, I think just there's better specs. Hunter, there's still Marksman on the board. Ret, there's still Holy Paladin on the board. Priest, they're still Holy on the board. You guys get the point. So a lot of these are just kind of the secondary B tier specs for these classes, and that's why I'm putting them at B tier. So B would be what I consider playable but not recommended. Next, let's move into the A tier. So back of the A tier, I have my beloved Shadow Priest, which I'll dive into as soon as I get these classes on the board. So let me explain. So Holy Paladin, pretty much every group is going to want a Holy Paladin. Pretty much, you see pretty much at least one Holy Pally, if not two, in every group. Very strong healer right now, and it is highly recommended that you bring a Holy Paladin. I would consider them top of A tier, if not S tier. So that's probably one of the best healers in the game, if not the best. So Holy Pally, highly recommended. Feral Druid, the reason Feral is so good is because you have the stealth capability. So you can base it, you can hit enemy bases with Cyclone. You know, you can double hit with a Rogue at any point in the game. So you have that utility, that objective player on the Feral Druid that is very, very strong in rated battlegrounds. You pretty much always need, you know, at least one, maybe two, if not three of these objective classes. You know, stealth, usually Druid or Rogue fill those roles. So Feral Druid is going to be second on the A tier. It's also, this is the most important thing, it's also the best FC in the game. The best flag carrier is going to be Feral Druid. Highly recommend. So I know right now there's a lot of Boomkins out there. Maybe you're not taking a Feral Druid, but I do think Feral Druid should be second in the A tier category because they are definitely very, very strong, especially on flag maps. You know, you might not get the team damage, the team fight damage out of the that you do out of a Boomkin. However, you're still getting that objective role, like we already covered, the base sitting, the hitting enemy bases, and you're getting a flag carrier. So if you have that kind of that spot for an objective player, Feral Druid can most certainly fill that role. Okay, Holy Priest. I got Holy Priest as the best healing priest class. So Holy Priest, I highly recommend if you are a priest healer that you give Holy a try. It seems to be the best priest healing spec for Cataclysm RBGs. Next, we got Frost Mage. I actually haven't seen many Frost Mages at all, but I think they're pretty decent. So Frost Mage is just going to be A tier for the simple fact I think they're decent. But again, I haven't really seen many. I'm honestly going to move it back because I think the other spec is, I think Fire is going to be better than Frost. Just from what I've seen, it seems like Fire takes the cake. So you know what, we'll put Marksman ahead of it, and we'll put Warrior ahead of it. So Marksman Hunter brings great damage to the team fight, but yeah, for just great damage. Hunters can base it. So Hunters definitely viable A tier class for sure. I think Warriors definitely great in a melee cleave. That's obviously Arms Warrior, so I think they're great. Frost Mage we just covered, decent class. Shadow Priest could definitely be B tier, maybe somewhere like this on the board. But because I play it, I think it's decent. I think it's back of A tier. Not the best in A tier by any means. Back of A tier, playable, definitely decent. It's got okay damage, and then you have a fear, you have your stun, disarm, and you have your silence. So it's very good for setting up goes on killing EFCs, killing a healer, whatever your target is. Shadow Priest can definitely contribute to that kill with instant CC and decent damage. So next we're going to get into our S tier. So we have our DK specs. I think I'm not sure which one's better. You know, I think Unholy maybe has a little bit more survivability. Frost has more pad. I think that's the way it goes. But both are very good. DKs bring Chains of Ice, Death Grip, so you can Death Grip Smoke Bomb for a kill. You can Death Grip, you know, flag carriers back to yourself, or you could pull them off of your flag carrier, and most importantly, Chains of Ice, you can slow a whole enemy team. So DKs always have that great objective role. Next, we have our typical rogues. Rogues always do well in RBGs, as you guys know. Sit bases, hit bases, can kill, stun, smoke bomb. Rogues, great objective player. Next, Fire Mage. Fire Mage was a nice surprise in Kata. I forgot how good they were. Fire Mage and Affliction Warlock seem to be very good damage, so you're going to see these near the top of the damage. And also, Fire Mage has the capability of being probably the best burst in the game, I think. I've seen Fire Mages nearly one-shot flag carriers, so Fire Mages have great burst, and Affliction Warlocks, I think, have the best pad in the game, so look for these two classes to be your top damage, and you're going to want to take them. Next, we have Resto Shaman, best healer in the game. Highly recommend taking a Resto Shaman. You get that Bloodlust for your team, so not only are you getting the best healer, you're also getting Bloodlust, and it's high value. So look to take a Resto Shaman. Ideal healing comp, Resto Shaman, Holy Pally, Holy Priest. That's what I would recommend. Resto Shaman being the best healer in the game, in my opinion. And lastly, rounding out the tier list, we have Boomkin coming in at number 1. Big shocker there. Boomkins always seem to do very well. You can base it, you can hit bases, you can top damage, and not only that, but I guess they can kind of FC as well right now. So Boomkins are going to take the cake as the best class in the game. Shaman's best healer, and it goes from there, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment below what did I get right, what did I get wrong. Let me know, and thanks for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Peace.